Hello everyone, I'm TWK and welcome to TWK Reviews, where I review whatever is on my mind. And today we're taking a look at Silent Hill Homecoming, as by the time this video comes out, it should be close to around Halloween. At the very least, I know it will be within the month of October. So at the very least, we have that going for us. But you know what else we have going for us? Our Plus Ultra patrons here on TWK. I'm going to keep this going. I have a good take going. I'm just going to keep going. Our Plus Ultra patrons, Barbara Castaneda about reviews, and Ricky Relic. Thank you so much for your patronage and your support. If you want to join them in supporting me, head on over to patreon.com/TWKReviews. Now then, let's take a look at a really mediocre horror game, shall we? Silent Hill Homecoming was developed by Double Helix Games, published by Konami, and released on September 30th, 2008. 13 years ago. First off, God dang, that's a long time ago. And secondly, because Konami's the one publishing this game, I'm not going to blame the developers for every problem this game has. After all, Konami is the Vince McMahon of video gaming. For any non-wrestling fans watching this video, that basically means that they're overbearing as all hell, and outside of a rare one or two decisions every now and again, they mostly make all the wrong ones. First off, world's most obvious Jacob's Ladder reference. Secondly, you're going to notice a lot, and I do mean a lot of references to the '06 film, from the nurses, the ash falling, and the teenage edgelord-esque amount of gore. This is one area that I feel is 100% mandated by Konami. After all, I'm pretty sure anyone who works in any sort of creative medium doesn't just want to poach ideas off of other people, right? So, what's the actual story here? Well, we got our protag, Alex Shepard, trying to find his brother in the small town of Shepherd's Glen. But you see, this town is just a little strange, what with the monsters popping up every which way and half the roads missing. You see, people, this is what happens when you don't invest in infrastructure. After playing Homecoming for a few hours, a few things occurred to me. First off, this game is way too combat focused. I seriously can't think of a single encounter I felt safe fleeing. Which goes against the very nature of not only Silent Hill, but survival horror games in general. That's like making an RPG without having any sort of stats to level up. How'd that get there? Also, every other critic turned out to be right. The knife really is the only weapon you're going to want to use. I was hoping they were wrong, but nope, they were correct. Just spam the knife. The only other weapon you'll really need is the gun, and that's just for the smog monster that's modeled after Silent Hill 2's lying figure. You know what, there's a thought that's starting to hit the old noggin noodle, and it's not one I was expecting to have, really. That thought is quite simply this: Silent Hill Homecoming doesn't really feel like its own game in the franchise, but instead a mishmash of pretty much everything that came before it. I already mentioned references to the movie, which in some ways coincides with Silent Hill 2, but I think it might actually go a bit deeper than that. Homecoming starts off with a nightmare sequence in which our protagonist dies. Sounds familiar. There's also the teleporting all over the place randomly. Sounds quite familiar. And the fact that people seem to sometimes speak in riddles. Alright, we have now hit beyond familiar. This is full on BFF mode, baby! Basically, what I'm saying is Silent Hill Homecoming seems to at least try to be a love letter to every entry that came before it, which makes it endearing in a type of way. I just wish it was all better executed. Like, for example, when I first recorded the first 30 minutes or so, it was already past midnight, so it was a perfect opportunity for this game to scare me, but then this happens. Alright, alright. How am I supposed to take a game that thinks a cheap jump scares like that are scary? By the way, I know this falling clip has been played to death, but fuck's sakes, there's a reason for that. I mean, it's just a good old-fashioned jump scare. It's done right. Just play that clip while I'm trying to control myself. That was hilarious. You see what I mean? For fuck's sakes, you can't compare them, man. Even taking Homecoming as its own beast, it's just okay. My biggest gripes are that it isn't scary enough for me, it's too combat focused, and enemies can stun lock you, which gets old really fucking fast. It's one thing if the player can cheat the system, but if the AI can, then it feels cheaper than Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Oh, what? Stop booing me. You know I'm right. And the cherry on top is the unnecessary inclusion of Pyramid Head, because of course he had to be involved. And it's not like I'm not into continuity, but you already had Robbie the Rabbit from Silent Hill 3. Not everything needs to be turned into a mascot. And the thing is, Robbie the Rabbit started off as an actual mascot within the world of Silent Hill 3. How Konami failed to capitalize and try to monetize a mascot like that is just beyond me, to be honest with you. The strongest point of this game is easily the soundtrack, composed once again by Sir Akira Yamaoka. No matter how bad the game is, if Yamaoka-san is working on it, you can bet you're going to get a super rad soundtrack. 100% guaranteed. Alright, final thoughts. Silent Hill Homecoming is at its best a fine game that tries to show love to the past but never makes time to decide on its own future, which just leads it down a road of mediocrity. So, at the end of the day, is this truly the worst Silent Hill game ever made? No. That would be Book of Memories, and let it be the last time we ever mention that game on this channel. Anyways, that is the video for this week. Thank you all for joining me for this, especially my Class 1B patron, Casey Nicholas Moore, aka the Evil Reverend. Thank you so much. If you want to join him, as well as the people I named earlier on in this video, then go on over to patreon.com/TWK Reviews and join them in supporting this show so I can eventually get a better webcam than this. Probably going to get one by the end of the year anyway, so help me get some more video games to talk about on this channel. Hey, there we go. There's the incentive. Hey, yeah. Also, be sure to check out my buddy Greg's book, New World, available on Amazon.com, both physically and digitally. Go pick up your copy today. Hey, not an ad, just helping out a friendo. Because that's what I do. I like to help out my friends in whatever small way I can because I am a tiny, tiny person. At least in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, next week, something. What? I don't know.